Welcome back to another 90 Day Fiancé recap. Let's talk about The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 10! This was a great episode. Jenny and Sumit are back. Greta finally tells Matthew she may not want kids after all, and Patia confesses to Dylan how much debt she really has, and then tries to guilt him into paying it all off. It's crazy, so grab a snack, have a seat, lock the fork in, and let's get into the recap. By the way, I want to know, what do you guys do while you watch my recaps? Because I got a lot of comments that people eat, and then I felt so bad when I read that in my Hoarders recap, because a lot of people were like,
whoa, I completely lost my appetite.
I'm so sorry, but yeah, let me know. Anyway, let's start with Patia and Dylan, because homegirl pissed me the fuck off.
Oh.
Wow.
They're at the furniture store looking for sofas, and the one Patia picked out was almost $3,000. That's so expensive, but then at the same time, sofas are really expensive in general. But anyway, in Patia's case, it's probably not the best idea to splurge on a sofa considering the amount of consumer debt she has.
What do you think?
I'd say $1,000 is cheap for a couch. Wouldn't it be better to get something more cost effective and then we can put the rest of the money towards your debt?
Dylan admits that the reason why he hasn't proposed to her is because of her constant shopping and her constant debt. Girlie has a shopping addiction. She spends a lot of money. When she lived in Vegas, she would drop 5 to 10K on a shopping spree. The sales associates would absolutely love her. No wonder.
Throwing clothes at her, she'd buy one of every color. If she's got money, she's going to spend it. All of it.
He asks how much total debt she has, and she says $20,000. And she maxed out 5 credit cards, and she tries to blame it on him because apparently she was debt free, and then they moved to Thailand together, and then they broke up, and then she had to move back to America 9 months later, which cost her a lot of money. And I get it, like, moves are expensive, but she also had no money, no savings, no job in Thailand, so it all became debt.
This is your fault. I had no debt when I moved to Thailand with you.
So I don't understand. Why are you moving to a foreign country when you can't work there and you have no money saved? What? Like, what am I missing? How is she a grown-ass woman making these decisions like she's 12 years old? And look, if Patia's addicted to shopping, then she's definitely got all her credit card information all over the internet. And that's actually how identity theft and scams really happen. Your data gets scooped up by these data brokers who make billions selling your personal information without your permission. And to protect your data, you need Aura, the sponsor of today's recap. Did you know it's completely legal for companies to sell all your data without your permission? Like your full name, phone number, all your past addresses, current address, email, shopping habits, whether you applied for a loan, and so much more. And then they sell that data to advertisers, insurance companies, and even the dark web. The US government basically said that if you give your data to one company voluntarily, then that company selling it to 900 other companies is basically the same thing, which is insane, but here we are. Aura works to protect your privacy by identifying those companies selling your information and automatically removing it. When you run Aura, they're going to send you a list of all the places that have your data and they clean it up. But it doesn't stop there. They also provide dark web monitoring, real-time fraud alerts for your bank and credit, password manager, secure VPN, antivirus, 24/7 US support if something goes wrong, and if anything happens, Aura includes $5 million in identity theft insurance protection. Now, there are other services that do pieces of this, but none of them bundle all of this at the same price. So go to aura.com/mythoughts and you can try Aura for free for 14 days. And that'll be enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal information off of these data broker websites, and you don't have to even lift a finger. Anyway, Dylan is actually understanding, and he's like, yeah, I understand that I did play a part in getting you into debt, but that was also 4 years ago. You've been making money during the last 4 years dancing. So why do you still have 5 credit cards maxed out?
But I have changed, Dylan. I just need some help. That's why I think you should sell one of your rental properties to help me pay off my debt.
I'm not the same. I've learned from my mistakes. That's why I'm asking you to sell that house to help me with this debt.
Is she crazy? Patia thinks Dylan should help her pay it off. Now, I might agree if they were married, but they're not, and they're still boyfriend and girlfriend who broke up 12 times. And if I were Dylan, I would not pay any of that debt off because she has to prove that she can spend wisely, that she has learned, she has fixed her spending habits. Because if he pays it off, then she's just going to get herself right back into debt.
I'm scared that if I do sell one of my properties, that there's going to be something else and something else and something else. And my fear is that this spending thing is never going to stop.
He doesn't trust her yet, and she's getting frustrated, so she continues to try and convince him over and over that she's changed. She's not high maintenance anymore. She's more financially responsible.
I don't know what more I can do or say to say, look, I'm not that high maintenance girl like I was back in the days.
Okay, then prove it. But then at the same time, she is in a tricky situation because she can't legally work in Australia. So yeah, I don't know. He tells her straight up that the reason why they can't get engaged is because of her spending habits. And she's shocked. And I'm sitting watching going like, girl, how are you shocked? And she was pissing me off, constantly putting her debt onto him, blaming him. And she was like, but honey, I really genuinely believe that this $20,000 worth of credit card debt that's accumulated over the last 4 years is your fault. And she's totally doing this so he pays it off for her.
I accumulated this debt because of you. Last debt was because of him. If it bothers you, help me pay it.
I don't think so. No, even you believe it, honey. I was like, girl, you're pissing me off. She tries to convince him again. I'm not that girl anymore, because if we get married, it's going to be your money, and I would never do that to your money.
I'm not that same girl anymore. I've gotten better. Now that we're together,
It's gonna be your money, and I'm not gonna be doing that.
Girl, be so for real.
he needs to move past this because if he doesn't propose, I'm done.
Honestly, if I were Dylan, I would not marry her. Moving on to Greta and Matthew. So Greta meets up with the ladies from Matthew's side of the family, like Matthew's mom, grandma, and her future sister. Matthew's family is so lovely. They're so kind. They're so sweet. His mother reiterates to Greta that she is so welcome to their family. She can stay 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, however long she wants.
If you stay in our house for 3 weeks or 3 months, or even perhaps not quite 3 years.
And Greta gets very emotional because holidays are challenging for her. Actually, holidays are tough for a lot of people. When I used to volunteer for the crisis hotline, holidays were one of our busiest, if not the busiest times, and it was really sad. Greta shares a story about how she and her sister and her mom, before her mom passed away, made ornaments together. So those ornaments were clearly very special. And after her mom passed away, the first Christmas that they had after the mom passed away, her dad apparently had a new girlfriend, which is also crazy, by the way. That's so quick, but whatever. And the new girlfriend was a wicked witch who didn't let Greta put the ornaments on the tree. And she was like, oh, those ornaments are ugly. You are not allowed to have those ornaments on the tree. And she threw them out. Are you freaking kidding me? What a see you next Tuesday, stupid ass hoe.
This person that my father was in a relationship basically said like the ornaments were really ugly.
Have you still got them?
No, because she threw them out.
How can anyone be so mean and vicious to a child? A child who lost their mother. My mom's home, so I can't really curse. Yeah, I know. This is where I am. You effing miserable witch.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. That's
So-
awful. That's dreadful. Oh, Greta.
My heart shattered for her when she was sharing that story. Like, it is clearly still a traumatizing moment. And that was an example of Greta having to hide her feelings all the time. Like, she would sneak in her mom's ornaments in the tree in the back to hide them so that the wicked witch wouldn't find them. But that fucking bitch found them and threw them out. You fucking dumb ass, wretched, trifling ass hoe cunt. The ladies are so sad after hearing the story. Matthew's mom gets up, gives her a big hug, and says that they can have many family traditions and Greta can be a part of them. And then those traditions will be passed on to her babies. Lots and lots of babies. Oof.
And we will have some Christmas family traditions, and you can be part of those traditions. And your babies.
Lots and lots of little babies and children.
That was awkward. The sister-in-law talks about how she really wants twins, and the mom and the grandma grandma are like, oh, we can't wait for the grandbabies. Many grandbabies. So many babies. So then Greta finally lets him know that she's been having second thoughts about having children. She's been having so much anxiety about it lately. She doesn't know if it's a phase or not. And it gets real quiet.
I've been having like a lot of anxiety about having children lately. I can't tell if it's like a phase or not.
Yeah, Matthew's mom admits on camera that she would be so disappointed if she didn't have any grandchildren.
I've always looked forward to the day when perhaps they would go on and have children of their own. So I would be disappointed if I didn't have any grandchildren.
I don't think she's a bad person for feeling that way. Like, for example, my parents are super sad that they don't have any grandchildren. You can tell Greta really loves and cares about Matthew's family, and she doesn't want to disappoint them.
I didn't want to ruin this perfect image they had of the future. I don't want to get their hopes up about something that may never happen.
And I really hope she doesn't have kids for their sake. You know.
I'm gonna get some of the apples down here on this low branch.
Yeah, they look good.
Oh God.
You know, who'd have thought that?
Later on, Greta and Matthew go apple picking, and then she tells him she's having second thoughts about having kids. And she doesn't know if she wants them anymore, and he's distraught. He's like,
Huh? I feel so unsure if I do want kids anymore.
like his world is falling apart because he's absolutely positively sure that he wants children. And he wants them with her because she is the love of his life. And he's so shocked because they've talked about their future kids, how many kids they're going to have, what they're going to name them, what they're going to, like, the sports they're going to sign them up for, and what college they're going to go to, and how they're going to raise them.
All the way down to the kinds of schools we want them to go to. I don't know where this has come from.
They've been talking about kids a lot. And so it makes sense that he's taken aback and he's shocked and he can't really process it. And then he asks her if her upbringing has anything to do with it. No, I don't think so. And that when she really started thinking about actually having kids and what that would entail, like her life would completely change. And she realized that it would have become a major deterrent of the type of advocate she wants to be. Now, I needed some elaboration. I don't really know what that means.
I think having a kid and a family life would be a major deterrent to being the type of advocate that I've always wanted to be.
What kind of advocate? How would it, like, what? Did she ever talk about it and I just missed it? Now, this is where Matthew kind of irked me because he was trying to persuade her into changing her mind. So he was like, don't just see it purely from your impact. And I'm like, okay, that's easy for you to say. You're not the one having them.
I think you should see how much of an impact they could have as well.
And becoming a father, I don't want to piss any dads off. I'm not saying that it doesn't impact a man's life. Of course it does, but it significantly impacts the mothers more. It's usually the women that sacrifice their jobs and stay at home to raise the children and take care of the home, right? I'm not saying all, but most. And the men, they get to go to work, they get to do their thing, and then they get to leave their house, and they come back. And if something were to go wrong in the marriage, the woman is left with a huge gap in her resume, which makes it harder for her to get back into the workforce. She has no money, no savings, and all I'm saying is women end up sacrificing everything in comparison to the men. Not all, but most, okay? Not all, okay? I know I'm going to get hate in the comments like, oh my God, I'm not in that kind of a marriage. I'm not talking about the good marriages where you guys have like a healthy balance and you guys have talked everything out and you love what you do and you guys know what I mean, okay? And I will die on this hill. Women have to sacrifice so much more in comparison to men when it comes to family and children, period. So Matt's trying to convince her into having kids. He's like, oh, but you'll be able to raise the kids in the way that you've always wanted to be raised. It's such an opportunity for you, or some shit like that. I mean, I didn't like it. I thought it was manipulative.
Your ability to raise people in the image that you always wanted to be raised in as a child, I think it's such an opportunity for you.
I was talking to Boba Belly about this. We had completely opposite views. And Boba Belly was like, well, I can understand his point of view because he's always wanted kids. They've always been talking about it. So he's shocked. Like he's getting a shock to his system and he's trying to make sense of it. And I was like, Okay, yeah, I get it. I guess that is a very human response. So then I kind of empathized with Matthew, but overall, if he continues to do this, if he continues to try to talk her into having kids, then that is very manipulative and he will be on my shit list. So then he goes on to say, if you don't have time to be a mother, then I'll be 200% of the father.
If you don't have the time to be a mother, I will be 200% of the father.
Okay, yeah, right. I thought that was kind of icky. I felt like he was trying to trap her. I mean, if you are trying to persuade a woman into having kids who doesn't want kids, then you are literally trapping her. She just said that she doesn't want to live that life, and he's trying to convince her by saying he'll do everything. But once she has the kid, you don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a different story. Like, you think you can be 200% of the father now, but like, wait until the kid actually comes. And I'm not saying that Greta can't change her mind again because she is still really young. She's like, what, 25, mid-20s? She could change her mind in 10 years and she could still have kids at 35. She could change her mind in 15 years and still have kids at 40. Many women now are having kids at 40. She has so much time, but I don't think they should stay together because she has so much time to change her mind. I think he deserves to be with someone who wants to have children now. He deserves that. And she deserves someone who wants a child-free life in the now. You know, like, I just don't think it's fair for either of them to be with each other who wants very different things. I think children are a non-negotiable and it's a deal breaker. And this is going to be so hard for Greta because his family is so wonderful and so loving and she's so connected to them. And, you know, she has family trauma. And so it's going to suck for her to part ways with them. But I think that's what needs to be done. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Let me know down in the comments.
Okay. We're gonna cook and make money.
We hope so.
Going to cook and make money.
Finally, we have Jenny and Sumit back on our screens. I said this before, we need to have them every week because I miss them whenever they don't appear on the episode. They've been working super hard on the cafe, and it's finally starting to come all together. And before the official open, they're going to have a religious ceremony called the Sonderkond. So they're going to provide food and drinks for the community to let them know that there's a new cafe opening.
So today we're going to prepare the cafe and some food to show a lot of people that we are opening a new cafe over here.
The family gets to their 100 square foot cafe and the fancy schmancy coffee machine has finally arrived. Now remember, this is going to be one of their main selling points because none of the other coffee shops have this fancy machine.
If we get a machine which will grind the beans and make a fresh coffee, we're definitely going to attract a lot of customers.
They also got their fridge, their stove. Now that they have appliances in the space, there's very little to no room for people to move around. So Sumit says that there's only going to be 2 people in the space at a time, and it's mostly going to be the people who are cooking.
Oh, we got a logo.
Yay!
Family Cafe.
They open up their store sign. It's a red sign in cute bubble letters that says Family Cafe. Now it's time to start prepping the food and the drinks. So they work on it all damn day. Okay? They put out their menu on a chalkboard. They light up the sign.
Yay! Whoa, looks so good.
Let's take a look on what's on the menu. Bread rolls, sandwiches, tea and coffee, French fries, eggs, fried scrambled with cheese, butter toast / buns, pastas, red / white sauce. Oh my god, is this an infamous Jenny-style ragu pizza sauce pasta?
The only thing I know how to cook is spaghetti. I hope this is gonna be enough for everybody.
Putting sauce and like noodles together, it's not called cooking.
Okay, but in America...
And the last is Maggi. Maggi is like instant ramen noodles, I think. So like I said, everybody's working hard on getting the food prepped. They're almost done. Until Sumit finds his dad washing the potatoes in the water that's unfiltered. I guess the water that comes out of there is the same as the toilet water. So Sumit starts freaking out and he's like, why are you using this dirty toilet water? And Dad's like, this is the only water source here. And I asked the other cafes and they led me to this water source. No, we can't do that. That's unsanitary.
यहाँ से पानी ले रहे हो?
क्या करें, यही कर है, उस और कोई नल का है नहीं यहाँ पे।
नहीं ये पानी नहीं चाहिए भाई। एक चीज बताओ, बाथरूम से यहाँ से थोड़ी पानी भरेंगे?
So he goes to his mom, who's cooking the potatoes. She's almost done. And the potatoes were not only washed, but there was water added, the toilet water added into those potatoes. So she's almost done and she's so happy. And Sumit's like, we can't use these potatoes. We have to throw them out because Dad used the toilet water to wash the potatoes. You are embarrassing our family right now in front of national television. Why are you making us look bad in front of the cameras? And she blames him for not thinking about the water supply before signing the lease.
Stop it. बहुत हो गया अब क्यों? हमारी बेइज्जती कर रहा है। कैफे खोलना है, पानी की तो बहुत जरूरत थी, करना चाहिए था।
And so now Sumit's very upset. They wasted so much time, so much money on all this food and prep that they have to throw away. The family's tired, they're all cranky, they have to start all over the next morning. Oh, maybe that's why everybody gets sick when they eat in India, because of the water.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
So what now? What are we gonna do? What happens now?
I don't know. We're gonna prepare again everything tomorrow.
Maybe this is why people get sick a lot when they eat in India.
Oh, I can't believe she said that. It's a brand new morning. They're all tired and cranky. And do cows just casually walk around everywhere? I was so shocked. Anyway, the family gets to the cafe and they have to start prepping all over again. Jenny doesn't know how to use a coffee machine. There's so many buttons, gadgets. She doesn't know how anything works.
I already forget what to do.
The blessing ceremony begins, and I guess a priest comes in to bless the shop and the holy water. He spritz holy water everywhere, and the holy water is cow urine. According to Sumit, cow urine is considered very religious and pure because cow is a holy animal because cow provides milk, so the cow is like mother. And I get that. I respect that they worship cows and the cow is holy and all that, but why do you have to use cow urine?
Close your eyes, shut your mouth.
Yeah, that happened, and I understand its culture. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna shut my mouth. I'm just going to shut my mouth. I do remember that I did look on Reddit and people were saying that that's not normal. That's just things that very extremists do. So it's not like a good representation of India. So I don't want you guys to think that all Indian people do this. No. But I do have to admit, when they were sprinkling the cow urine all over the shop with the onions out, I was like, what's the point of throwing the poop water potatoes away if you're just going to sprinkle cow urine all over the kitchen? The ceremony is over and now it's time to serve their food. So they go around, there's a crowd, they give out a sample to everyone in the area, and Jenny is very upset. She's like, why is there so much food going out for free? We didn't get any money today. What the hell? We're just losing money.
All I saw was food going out the door and no money coming in. I know how important this was, but we made no money.
Jenny, this is called marketing. And I get it, she's stressed. She really wants to get the freak out of Sumit's parents' house. But marketing is part of starting a business, okay? I forgot to cover Luke and Madeleine, but there really was nothing to cover. Luke met up with his friend, Brian, who hates Madeleine, but Madeleine also hates him, so they hate each other. Brian basically tells Luke that he has Stockholm syndrome.
Someone kidnaps somebody and takes them hostage, then the hostage starts to fall in love with the captive.
And that's why he's with Madeleine, because he cannot understand for the life of him why he would want to be with her. All she does is use his money and bitch at him.
You're completely just manipulated and controlled all the time.
And Luke starts to think oh, maybe my friend is right, but who knows? Anyway, that's it for this recap. What did you guys think of this episode? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye! I think buying a good sofa is a good investment because... Okay, side story. I bought a sofa when I moved to DC from a brand called Cozy, and it was one of the more affordable ones. And I think the total price was $1,300 or something like that. Let me just say, it's a piece of shit. All right, let me de-influence you from ever getting a Cozy sofa. If you sit on that thing for over 30 minutes, your ass feels like it's on concrete. The cushion deflates so fast. I don't know how, I don't know why, and I couldn't even return it, so I was stuck with it. And Every time I look at the damn sofa, I get pissed off. And I can't justify spending so much money on a new sofa so quickly after I just bought the sofa. So I'm gonna keep using it until it completely deflates and breaks. And for my next sofa, I guess I'll spend more money and get a nice durable one. And I feel really bad for them. Like, I genuinely, there was a time when I was so sad for my parents because all their friends are having grandchildren at this point, and they're the only ones of their friend group and the family that aren't having grandkids. And like, I even thought about freezing my eggs and possibly getting a sperm donor and being a solo parent just for my parents. But then I was like, wait, I'm doing this just so that I can give my parents grandchildren and I can fit into like the societal norm and standards. And I'm like, I feel like I should probably not do that, you know? Oh my God, speaking of poo, I just had this random memory. You want to know something weird, and I don't know where I got this idea, but when I was in high school, my acne was at its worst, okay? It was so bad, and I used to cry every day. I used to pray to God, and I would be like, I'll do anything. If you just clear my skin, okay? I'll do anything for clear skin. Please just clear my skin. I've tried everything. I've been in and out of the dermatologist's office, up and down, and nothing worked. I don't know why this thought went through my head as I was praying, okay? I think it was out of desperation. I was at my wit's end. I just didn't know what else to do. I remember one day crying, okay, as I was praying, and I was like, dear God, please, all I want is clear skin. All I want is clear skin. I'll do anything. And if I'm guaranteed clear skin, I will smear poop and put on a poop face mask every single night if it means I'll have clear skin. I remember thinking that. So if you look at my face now, my entire face, except for my forehead, because I never really broke out on my forehead, but everywhere, especially my cheeks, all over my cheeks, are filled with acne scars, hyperpigmentation, and really large pores. So yeah, I think I'm gonna look into laser face treatments to, I don't know, like, I don't even know if it works, but I would honestly get like a skin transplant if I could. But yeah, everyone at church used to call me pepperoni face, and the boys, I would try to cover my acne desperately with globs of foundation, but you know, you could still see the texture. And boys would tease me by putting their finger on my face, and they would glide their fingers across my cheek, and they'd be like, ew, you wear so much makeup to hide your pimples under there. You guys, I'm traumatized. And I have a whole story. Well, let me just tell you. So I was so insecure about my skin that I would sleep in makeup. I would always have foundation on, and I would have globs of foundation. I would have nightmares of me waking up somewhere without my foundation, and that was like my worst nightmare at the time. I would wear foundation like my life depended on it. It was to the point where I could not go to the grocery store. I could not go to CVS. I could not go anywhere outside without my foundation. I couldn't even let my parents look at my face. Like, I was so dependent on this foundation that some days I would sleep in it. I would absolutely sleep in it if there was a sleepover, if I would sleep at a guy's house, or like even my friends, my girlfriends, like nobody ever saw me without foundation. So one year I was just like, I have to break out of this. And so I went on a no makeup strike for my own sake and my own sanity. And it was one of the hardest things ever. Like, the first couple months were so hard. I would have my face down. I would cover my face with my hands when I didn't have makeup on. And then it was just like a process. I haven't worn makeup in so long. I'm just used to seeing my face with my acne scars, my hyperpigmentation, my ugly, like, I've embraced my ugliness, and that's okay. And me calling myself ugly is not putting myself down. It is just being factual. And now I'm okay with it. You know, sometimes I'll get into like phases where I'm like, oh, I want a skin transplant. I want a facelift. I want this. I want that. And I don't want to say I think that's okay. I mean, as long as I'm not in like a toxic mindset, I think it's okay. Like, I do want some stuff done to my face. But yeah, that's another story. Anyway, I don't even know why I started talking about that. Why did I start talking about that?